Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Lighten Up podcast. I'm here with my sister and mom. I'm Ariana Powell, and
I'm Sonia.
I'm Ella.
we're here in the new year, 2025.
Boop,
This is
boop.
our first podcast of 2025. And yeah, I think we should kick it off, right? Just start, dive in.
Do it.
Let's do
This
it.
is our
Let's do it.
fourth episode, and we are officially launched. Woohoo! So hopefully you're seeing this as a new subscriber.
Or
If
an
not,
old subscriber.
You
And
should
thank
subscribe.
you, everybody that has watched and commented. We're very grateful for and excited to have you along for the ride on our journey, our exciting journey.
Yeah.
So,
So-
who wants to start with their week?
Maybe you?
Me?
Yeah.
Okay. Do it. I'll do it. So, we always like to joke about ASMR. Hello. ASMR.
You should do what you're grateful for this week.
Okay, I'm going to do that. First off, I'm grateful for these pine cones that are next to me.
It doesn't work. Don't do it. Don't do that.
It's fun. You guys should hear it. This is what it sounds like to have a mic in pine cones that smell like cinnamon. Ready? ASMR.
I'm really sorry if that sounds like if that's really loud.
I'd like to apologize to all the headphone listeners.
If you are not watching, that was a basket full of pine cones sitting next to our fireplace. And by the way, I do want to highlight this. This is pretty cool. This pine cone is found all over in the mountains in California, and we love them. We love them so much. They're so fun to have.
My dog loves them.
Yes.
She's obsessed with
They're
them.
great for fire starters. So if you go up into the mountain areas, collect them. They're great for starting your fires. So anyway,
In your house.
In your
not,
house. Yes,
not
obviously.
Not anywhere else.
It actually
Please.
probably is a lot of the cause of the fires that happen up here, which
They
is really
are.
unfortunate, but they are beautiful, absolutely amazing, and we collect them, and they're really special. And
My dog-
if you put cinnamon on them, it smells amazing too. So
My dog, since she was like a puppy, because I got her here where we're at, and they're everywhere. They're less so everywhere in Washington, but the big ones like that, she has been obsessed with them since the minute I got her. She would find, it started as like the little ones, and then as she got bigger, her pine cones got bigger, and she would just grab them. And I think because like when she's teething, it like scratches, like the pokiness scratches a part of her gums, and it
Like when
feels really
you're-
nice, like
You
a
go in with a toothpick.
yeah, exactly.
Get in
So
there.
she like she'll just carry it around, and she'll just be like a little adorable
it's
puppy
very cute.
carrying around.
She
this
also loves
massive
rocks
pine
too,
cone.
which are really cute.
She
too.
loves
Correction.
rocks
She loves bricks
and rocks. Yeah,
and rocks, but bricks. Like she.
Yeah.
she'll like play with them, and she'll get so happy and so overwhelmed that she'll start whining. No, but while she's like playing with the pine cones
At the brick. She'll whine at
or
the brick.
yeah, at the rocks.
It's really cute.
Yeah.
Really cute. Okay, so
Yeah,
anyway, my
anyways.
week, there it is, total tangent and ASMR and all that good stuff. So I started the week in another year of 2024, and needless to say, I'm very grateful to say goodbye to that last year. There was a lot of difficulties that we faced.
Good
and,
riddance.
and very excited to
See
welcome
you
in the new
later,
year and
alligator.
all of the excitement that is definitely going to be coming into our lives and already has started to show up. The previous episode, I had mentioned how I was going through an experience that I was kind of feeling some fear around because I had really put out the energy for something to come into my life that was very exciting, and it showed up, and I was very grateful, but then it kind of disappeared. And then I started getting very fearful and anxious and falling into that vibration. And I had the realization that if I had it come into my life and then it went away, and I was beating myself up kind of internally by saying, oh my God, I let it go away, and what did I do wrong, and I should have done this better and that better, and just all of those like fear-based thinking. And I realized at that moment that if I'm giving myself credit for maybe making it go away, then I should give myself credit for bringing it back. And I brought it into my life at one point, so I was like, I can bring it back. And it was a pretty amazing when it originally came into my life. And so I was like, you know what? I'm just going to believe it. I'm going to put in that vibration out, and every morning I do a meditation that's based on my book, which is using the enlightenment tool. And it really is kind of putting your order in for the day, for what you're wanting out of life, your intention for what you're wanting to have come into your life that day and in the future. And I just went every day and I said, I'm just going to do this. I'm going to believe, and I'm going to walk in the direction as though it's going to come back into my life. And it did. So anyway, you guys will hear more about this in more episodes to come of what has manifested and all the excitement that's going to be coming from that. Very excited, very grateful. And literally it happened like Christmas Eve, and has now just started to unfold, and it's very exciting, and I'm very excited for the new year, to say the least. And that all happened this year, and so anyway, it's a good kickoff to the year.
It's
and,
crazy
and
that you
it's
say
fun.
that all happened this year. It's like
Yeah, all
it's been
of
5 days.
5 days, I think.
Yeah.
So, but I'm very grateful, and it's a good start to the year. So I'm very excited for what's to come. So yeah, that's been my week.
Fun.
Yeah.
You want to go next, Ariana?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so, well, I wanted to start with this because, so this morning, I knew that we were doing the podcast, obviously, and I do these things called morning pages, and it's when you first wake up and you write, and it's basically like this brain dump where you basically just like write everything that's kind of like in your head so that you can start the day off just kind of clear. You have like just this clean slate sort of thing. Like you don't have to, all of the stuff that you might wake up and you're worrying about, like you don't have to worry. Like, well, it's a good way to kind of process it and just start
Set
your
the
day
tone
off.
for the day.
Exactly. Set the tone. Like kind of what you were talking about, Mom, with like just
Set the vibration.
set the vibration.
Your intentions.
Yeah. And so, anyways, I was doing that this morning, doing my little morning, and I was writing, and I was like, what do I want to talk about for like what I did this week, like the stuff that I really enjoyed this week. And just the way I woke up or whatever, I just was thinking like, wow, I actually had like a really emotionally draining week. Like it was kind of hard. I was thinking about the stuff that it was just like, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to talk about. Like I was having a hard time thinking about what I was going to talk about. And I was able to switch.
You lightened up?
I did lighten up. I did.
TM.
Trademark, like lightened up. And I was able to just kind of take a second and go, okay, just for a second, I'm really going to try and focus on something that was fun. And as soon as I did that, I just got filled, like overflowing with just like, oh my gosh, and then this happened and that happened. And I had an amazing week. Like yeah, if I look at kind of that dark side of it where it's like, yeah, it was like emotionally draining and there was a lot of stuff that came up, ups and downs. But if I look at the positive and the light, it just felt so good. And I started writing about all of this stuff that I was like, oh my gosh, this happened and that happened. And I just felt so good. And it allowed me to really kick off my day on a such higher frequency and vibration. And I just felt grateful for everything that was happening and that did happen throughout the week. And so, yeah, I just wanted to put that out there because
Also,
yeah.
something to add to that is like, even when you have had like maybe a not so good week, like what you were saying, like an emotionally draining week, or like say you had a challenging week or something, or maybe even a day that was just like it didn't go your way. You can look at the things that went wrong or like the challenges, and you could be like, okay, what can I learn from those? What good can come from them?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
like, so say you keep stubbing your toe. Maybe that's a sign that your furniture's too sharp or that you need to put on shoes. Like if it keeps happening, then it's the universe's way of being like, hey, this is something you got to look at, and this is something you should work on.
Trying to see the learning experiences in your, I don't want to say bad experiences, but I'm just going to say bad experiences. Just like experiences that you're not happy with.
Yeah.
Seeing the learning experiences with it.
I love that. That's so, and in my book, I actually have a part where I say that if darkness comes knocking at your door, ask what lesson it has for you. Because when you find the lesson in the dark or the hardship, then you find the light. And when you find the light, the darkness goes away. And so when you start to see that everything in life is happening for a reason, and if it has happened over and over again, if the phone keeps ringing, answer it. If this keeps happening, find out why it's happening. Look for like a pattern, or look for what you can change, or what it's offering for you to learn. And then that's when you find the light. And when that happens and you go, oh my God, you'll find all of a sudden it'll stop happening. So it's
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
And it's kind of like you can very easily, and it's great to do, just kind of be like, yeah, these bad things happen, but I'm going to focus on all the amazing things that are happening. But it's also really important to be like, okay, what did I learn from these things that are happening that are maybe not the best? Like, stub my toe. What can I learn from that? You know, and it's like, it's this like a new method, or it's a different method on focusing on the light. Because you can focus on just like the surface level amazing things that have happened, or you can focus on the light and you can find the light in the dark. And then that's how you ultimately get rid of all the dark.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you for highlighting that. It's
Yeah,
really
yeah.
cool. Yeah, amazing.
Sorry, you can continue now.
Oh, yeah.
Little side tangent.
No, it's okay. Honestly, yeah. I just, like everyone said, I wanted to just bring that up just because I do think it's kind of important. Like, I think it's really, I'm really grateful that we are doing this podcast because, you know, honestly, it could have been that I woke up and I was thinking all of that, like kind of feeling down and stuff. And if I wasn't doing the podcast, if I wasn't having to like kind of go out of my way to think about all the good things, I might have not done it. And so I just wanted to say that just to be like, think about the good stuff. It's nice.
It's nice also that we have this marker once a week, and that's
Mhm.
why we're doing it.
Yeah.
And if you're following along, we
Also
encourage
on
you.
Sunday, because
Yeah.
then you'd look back on your week.
Yeah. And we encourage, if you're watching once a week, that you do the same, maybe just whether it's before you watch it or after you watch it, just take a second to kind of go, what was great about my week, and just really think about that, because we don't do that enough. I don't think. I think
Yeah.
we do the things that are a hardship or difficult or problems. We have to deal with them, so they do kind of rise to the surface. But it's like, no, every week I'm going to take some time and just think about what was great, what was amazing, and I'm grateful for the podcast, because the same thing. I sometimes wake up but on podcast days it's really fun because we really do it, and it's nice feeling.
Yeah. So to go into what happened in my week, well, amazing things happened during my week. I mean, we rang in the new year all together, and it was so fun. Like, it was just, we did it in the city. It was awesome. And just all throughout the week, we've been having a lot of fun together, just as a family, which has been really nice. And also, like, our boyfriends have been here.
And we were all able to dress up. That was really fun.
Yeah, that was really fun.
We made
because
it fancy.
It's nice to get in that, I don't know, like look pretty, to feel pretty and stuff. Anyways, so this week has been awesome. But what I want to share is not really in this week. It was kind of the week before that, which was Christmas. Because for Christmas, I got a kitten. I got a kitty.
She's so cute.
She's so cute. And so she's been, like, honestly, like, lighting my whole world up since I got her. And she's just freaking amazing. My mom and sister gave her to me, and there's a whole story around it. I'm going to tell it, but I'm also going to make it kind of quick because it can be kind of a long journey. But my side of the story is that in the summertime, actually, so background, I had like just graduated in a sense from my college, which is weird. We'll have to explain this another time about how, like, I've walked already, but I still have a few credits that I have to finish.
So you walked in your graduation, and then you just needed to make up like a few more credits.
Yeah, exactly.
And this is a lot of
Yeah,
people.
I
have to
think
do
it's
that.
a normal thing. Like, I've heard other college students have it where it's like, I walked because I literally, like, over the summer needed to get some credits. Anyways, I can tell the story later, but so I graduated and I was like, okay, I'm gonna get a job. And anyone who kind of has had the privilege of living somewhere and then going to school in a completely different area, whether that be like a completely different country or like East Coast to West Coast sort of thing, understands that you you can't have a lot of plants, I feel, or at least this is just me because I hate buying plants and then
I
having
think a
them
lot
die.
of college students have this.
Yeah,
you don't
maybe it's just
get plants and animals.
It's
and
hard
stuff,
to
like when you
have
when you're-
living things.
well, it's just
When you're
to
a
have
college
things
student,
that
'cause
you
you're-
need to care about.
You're taking vacations all the time.
Yeah, you're
and-
taking vacations and stuff. And so like I wouldn't even, and I'm such like a green thumb. Like I love plants and stuff. Like I wouldn't even buy plants to have in my apartment because I was like, well, who's going to water them? Because I'm going to be gone for the next 2 months. And like, sure, I could have my friend coming in and out of my apartment, but like that's so, anyways, besides the point. So I graduate and I'm planning on getting a job in Paris. I'm planning really setting roots. So I was like, hey guys, if anybody, doesn't know what to give me for Christmas, you can maybe get me a cat. And also this was a little inspired by Ella getting a dog.
Because I got her in the summertime.
Yeah.
So it was right around, like, we went to visit Ariana and watch her graduation. And then probably like a week after we got back, I got my dog. So it was like pretty immediate. So Ariana was like,
Exactly.
You could have a kitten.
Maybe I could have a kitten. And I was just thinking about it and I was like, oh my God, like I could. Like if this, obviously in my future, I'm going to be more settled down, but this is like one of the first times in my life I'm feeling like, okay, I'm going to be settling down in a way. Like I'm going to be in this city for at least a year and I'm not really going to be traveling a lot because I'm going to be working. Anyways, so I say that. And then it comes all the way to the holiday season and we're decorating our Christmas tree.
You put it on your Christmas list to
Exactly,
Santa.
Exactly. So holiday season comes and we're decorating our Christmas tree. And I'm like, hey guys, remember what I said during summertime? That'd be a crazy idea, right? Right? And so I put it on my Christmas list as well. And I start like dropping hints. And I actually like flat out start saying, I'm like, I think this would be really fun. I'd really like this. And I start talking to Ella about it. And I take Ella's word so seriously and I put it in such like a high category for many things, almost everything, because she's my sister and I think she's amazing. But when it comes, yeah. But when
Keep
it
going.
comes, but when
I'd like to say some more.
but when it comes to animals, I really put it on a special level because I know she's studying like to care for animals. She's in pre-vet right now. But even before that, she loves animals. She's had so many animals, like just the animals you've had personally as your pets. It's kind of crazy. Like that's another story in itself as well that we'll have to touch on.
Lots of stories.
Yeah, but just one of those things, like she will study and research what's best for animals just on her free time because she really enjoys it. It's her passion. So I'm talking to Ella about it and she low-key breaks my heart. She low-key does. She looks at me and the thing is that when I first got the idea of having a kitten or having a cat in general, I was in a very different space because as we've shared with you guys, just not this year, but 2024 has been up and down, all types of crazy stuff. So one month I was in one area, the next month I was in another, as I think is kind of common when you are dealing with huge monumental change. And so I'm talking to Ella and she's like, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think you should have a kitten right now. And I was like, what? And she was like, I don't think this is a good time for you. I don't think, and she started telling me all the reasons why, which made sense. They were very valid reasons.
Yeah, basically the way I said it was I was like, listen, I love you and I think you're going to be a great cat mom eventually. But right now, having a kitten is really hard because we're back in our hometown. This isn't where Ariana lives permanently. She's going back to where she lives. And I was like, and it is overseas. So I was like, getting a kitten, because she kept saying, I want like a little baby kitten, which of course everyone loves.
Who doesn't?
But when you think like, oh my gosh, a little kitten, And so I was like, the age thing, it's going to be hard. They're going to need all their shots. They're going to need to be spayed or neutered. Like it's going to
actually
be
said it's not safe for
it's
a
not
kitten to
safe
travel when
because
they're really young.
It's the pressure change really kind of messes up with their ears when they're still developing everything. If you want to put them under, then that's really hard for them because that is really unsafe. Especially, it's unsafe in general to put them.
You
to
said
put
it compromises their
It compromises their
immunity.
immunity, like a lot. That's just for any animal, but especially a tiny little baby kitten traveling over 14 hours or 11 hours. That's a lot. So I was like, listen, I don't know if right now is the right time. Next year would be perfect,
Or when you're in
or when
Paris,
you're in Paris,
you said.
you
Yeah.
could get
She
like
was
a
like-
Parisian cat,
Yeah, she
so
was
they
like,
don't
if
have
you
to
wanted-
travel.
Sorry, talking over you as you speak. No, but she was like, if you want to get it in Paris, but like it doesn't make sense to do it here because you're gonna. And it was such a good point. She was like, what? You're gonna get the cat on the 25th.
Yeah,
And then you're leaving what on the 6th of January? So like you have
Yeah, I was like
11 days to
and
figure that
they're
out.
going to be a little kitten and they're going to have to be registered under your name, chipped. They're going to have to get a little passport. They're going to like there's so many steps you have to take to be able to travel with animals, which is completely fine. But getting it at the end of the month when Christmas lands and leaving at the beginning of the month, the time frame it wasn't ideal.
Anyways,
yeah.
so just to put that there, to wrap up my story. So I'm like, oh, shoot, she's right. And so I talked myself out of having that. And I was like, you know what? It's fine. I'm going to do a lot of traveling. Like I'm going to enjoy being like, a child-free mom, sort of like, I don't know.
Single girl era.
Yeah.
But with the boyfriend.
But with the boyfriend. And more just like, in my dink era.
You accepted it. I don't
It's
know
not
what the dink is.
It's it is dual income, no kids. Dink.
Ah.
Yeah.
Right.
Anyways, so
I didn't know that was a thing.
yeah.
I've heard that before too. Yeah.
But anyways, so talk myself down. It's fine. Whatever. It's not like you hurt my feelings or anything. But then Christmas starts approaching, and like three days before Christmas, this like little light bulb pops up because there was something happening. I could smell it in the air, and it was just little things. And honestly, probably to like an average normal person, they probably would be like, no. But Ella was like, hey, Troy's my boyfriend. I need to meet up with Troy because we need to pick something up. And I was like, what are you picking up? Perhaps
It was
a
for my
cat?
mom.
And
wasn't
they
for
weren't
her.
picking it. They weren't picking anything up. But
Wishful thinking is
exactly,
what this is called.
Wishful thinking. And it's like this.
She has a
little light
very
bulb.
active imagination.
No, and it's this little light bulb that's like, what if it's that? And the rest of me is like, no, it's not that. Don't get your hopes up. It's not going to happen. But little things started happening again and again. Like my mom and I were in a TJ Maxx, and my mom like pointed out a cat on a pillow, and she was like, isn't that so cute? And I'm like, why would you say that? Unless
It was
were
an
getting me
orange
a
cat too, which is
Yeah.
exactly what Ariana had asked for. And I was like, look at that.
Exactly. So anyways, there was just little things, and I was like, honestly, it was such a like, this is happening, that I was like, it's not happening. Like, relax. Like, calm down. Like, you're an
like
adult.
Intuition versus like being logical.
Exactly.
It was like, I have a feeling, but that wouldn't make sense.
But
Exactly.
they said no.
It was
so
like
it's not
brain
happening. What
versus
do I do?
heart, 100%. Like, they were at war for the like 3 days before Christmas, and I'm like, stop it. Like, you're going to
You're
just
like staring
hurt
in the
yourself.
mirror. You're like, you need to get it together.
No,
You're not getting a cat.
Like, you're not getting a cat.
You actually told me that. You were like, I needed to convince myself that I wasn't going to be let down on Christmas
Exactly.
morning.
'Cause
So
that
I
would
just kept
suck.
telling myself, stop it. Stop it. You were saying,
Literally, I was like, calm down, Ariana. You're fine. Like, relax. Like, you're not going to get a cat. And you know what? It's okay that you're not going to get a cat because of all of blah, 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 blah. Anyways, come Christmas Eve, I got a cat.
so we kind of stepped in, and I felt like, well, actually, it was me, and felt the same feeling I felt with Ella when she got her puppy. And I also, last Christmas, Ella wanted a puppy, and I was like, no. And then it just, something clicked, and it was like, no, this is really needed. And then watching Ella and her interaction with Asha, her puppy, and how amazing and how much joy she's received. And so I thought, you know what? Maybe, and Ariana has been lately doing a lot of self uh, growth and just exploration as to who she is and connecting deeply with herself, and which I'm really proud of. You've been doing a lot of
Thank you.
amazing work, and really
try.
inspiring. And one of her big things is really connecting with her inner child and remembering who she is and who she always has been. And she's always been such a lover of everyone, and such a peacekeeper, and just such a gentle spirit from day one when she was born. She in fact was one of my biggest inspirations. She didn't realize it for when I wrote my book, because before we took a big trip, she and one of her friends had a ankle bracelet that she made out of plastic, and she said when it comes off, and I might have mentioned this before, I think I did, that she wanted world peace. So like from very young, she's just been this peacekeeper and this very quiet, beautiful soul, and she's reconnecting with that. And I was like, a kitten, what better way to bring that out of her even more? And so I thought, I kind of put it out to the universe, and I says, you know what, I'm going to just see if there's a possibility. And then I brought Ella on board, and I'll let you talk a little bit about how I of course said I need to bring Ella on into this mix. And I told Ella, I said, I think we should look and see if it's meant to be. What do you think? And then
I'm really grateful, because I'm studying to become a veterinarian. My whole major is animal science, so I love animals so much. But I'm really grateful for my family, because they've put me in this very cool position to be in. And it's kind of like, when we have a question or when we have something we got to do with animals, let's get Ella, which has honestly created such an amazing experience for me, just to being around so many animals, caring for so many animals, and helping everyone.
And it's been who you've been from day one too. From day one, Ella also has been just this amazing, peaceful spirit, and always advocated for animals. From the second she came into this world.
It's my number one personality trait.
Yeah. So she's
every Christmas.
It's beautiful to watch her step into her light and her
every
purpose.
Christmas I would ask Santa for a reindeer.
Yeah.
He would never give it. I guess he needed all of them, but he would always give me a stuffed animal. And I was like, listen, big man, does this thing look like it could pull a sleigh? I need a real one. I constantly expected Comet just sitting by my tree every time I would wake up. And there was always no reindeer? Come on. But
don't lose hope.
Yeah, I'm still holding on. It's on my list every single year.
Honestly, 1 year when you get older, it'll probably happen, because you'll actually have a farm or something.
Reindeer farm or something.
And then your husband's gonna be like,
here,
100%.
Merry freaking Christmas.
That is gonna happen.
Yes. So you gotta. It's just.
Yeah, it's just
use
brewing.
your adult money.
Yeah. Take it into my own hands. Fine,
Exactly.
Santa. You don't want to give me one of yours? I'll get my own one. No, but so I'm really grateful for the position that my whole family has kind of put me in, and I think that it's well deserved. Not to toot my own horn, but I know what Ariana.
I know my shit.
No, but like what Ariana was saying, I really love it, and my mom.
You love it.
I
and
love
that's
it
the
so
best.
much, and then
it's
because
great.
of that, the passion comes through with the knowledge and everything. So, my mom called me and early morning, and she was like, "You want to go on a secret mission?" And I was like, "Huh? No, I'm asleep. I really don't want to go on a secret mission." And she's like, no, you want to come on a secret mission. I'm like, okay. So she's like, get dressed now. I'm like, okay. So I get dressed, and I'm like, what do I need to get dressed in? She's like, well, people will probably see you. And I'm like, wow, okay. This is this is top secret stuff. And so then I get dressed, we get in the car, and I'm like, what is happening? And she's like, I think I want to get Ariana a kitten. And I was like, what? So then we went to the adoption place, and we walked in, and I still had my concerns about getting a little baby kitten and all the health issues that come with them. Not health issues, but just the health precautions that you have to take.
Just making sure that the cat has a good life. That's the main thing.
Yeah.
just because of the whole.
And what's best for the kitten.
for the kitty.
Like,
So
there-
basically,
yeah.
we came in a well-oiled machine. My mom was for Ariana's best interest, and I was for the kitty's best interest. I felt like a little like kitty lawyer. I was like, well, if my client wants to go home,
Nice, totally. It was that.
Yeah.
But by the way, when she saw,
so
it
then
was like
we
melt.
yeah, we walked in, and Ariana had always said that she wanted an orange cat. She was like, I love them. They're so cute. I've
We
always wanted
confirmed
one.
this before we walked in the place. I said, I think she wants, and we didn't know what kitten was going to be there, but we're like, it would be really cool because I said, am I right in my memory that she said she wants like a ginger or like an orange cat? I was like 100%. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Because we've had cats our entire lives, and they've always been tabbies or like a gray tabby and stuff, and they're so cute and I love them. But like you always see these like internet like memes with orange cats.
Yeah, the
and
elusive orange cat.
And so I always thought that was fun.
And so we walk in, and I immediately see this gorgeous orange little kitten. And I'm like, oh my gosh, she's the one. She's Ariana's cat, hands down. And I read her little sign, and she's 7 months old, which is the same age as my puppy. So she's a little older. She's got all of her shots, and she's already spayed.
And potty trained.
And potty trained. So I was like, this is the one. And my mom, representing Ariana, was like, well, she really wanted a kitten. Like, I don't know, maybe let's look around. She went and she asked one of the workers, like, do you have any like kittens?
Like kittens.
Like
the
2 month
small-
old, like the
little ones.
little ones. And they were like, yeah, we have this one. I think she was 5 months old. She was a little younger.
Yeah, not much though.
But then I was like, Mom, you should check this girl out. And she had these little green eyes, and Ariana has these gorgeous green eyes. So they had like identical eyes. She was just the
It was hands down.
cutest.
No,
and like
since,
she
like-
was old enough, so it was like all of my precautions that I wanted to take, like all of my concerns went out the window because she checked them all off. I was like, I don't want her to be too young. She wasn't too young. She needs to have her shots. She had all of her shots. She needs to be spayed. She was already spayed. Like all of it was so perfect.
It's amazing.
So she's like a kitten, but she's old enough to travel.
Mm-hmm.
She's like her immunity is not going to be compromised. She's already pretty like in her she's just grown into herself a bit, but she's still
little and
small
petite.
and,
She's
like-
the most beautiful. Her face
I
is
think
so
she was-
I'm
beautiful.
gonna put a photo in. Like,
Yeah.
well,
She's
here.
so pretty.
You'll see her.
Yeah, I think she was one of the smaller ones of her litter because
Yeah.
she is just like a naturally smaller cat, which is kind of perfect. And she was amazing. And she's
And
super
everyone
fluffy.
loved her too. Everybody
Yeah.
was like, it literally said she's very, very sweet.
Yeah,
And
in her
she
description,
is.
she's very, very sweet. And they were saying how, which is super interesting, they were saying how so she had an older, bigger sister that she was in her little area with, and she had just gotten adopted like 2 or 3 days beforehand. And her older sister was much more like, or her bigger sister was much more like outward. Like every time anyone would look at them, her other sister, she would like show up. She'd be like, hi, look at me. I'm so great. And which caused Ariana's cat, Zaya, to kind of be like more chill and more in the back. She wasn't very like outgoing. She was just kind of very sweet and docile. And so then when we were like, can we see her? They were like, I don't know how this is going to go. Like, she's normally quite shy. And she was like an immediate love bug, like rubbing up in our hands
Purring,
and everything.
yeah.
her purr is insane. And also, I didn't mention her name. Her name is Zaya.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. And so, little baby.
And what's it mean?
Oh, so there's several meanings, but most
How do you spell it? 'Cause
Zaya.
people-
Okay, Zaya. Z-I-A. Whenever I spell it, I feel like I'm saying the CIA, but I have a lisp.
You don't have a lisp.
No.
But when you
It's
feel
like,
like,
I'm saying
CIA.
like
I see.
the CIA is gonna come get you.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
It's
ZIA.
ZIA, Zaya. And yeah, there's a lot of meanings, but most of it means to shine and light, basically, which, lighten up, kind of our whole vibe. And it also means goddess in Hebrew,
Hebrew,
I think. I
maybe?
could be
Yeah.
completely wrong,
Yeah.
though.
In some language, it did mean
Yeah,
that. Though.
there's a lot of
It's a
in
really
lot
old
of
name.
it's a really old name. It was in the Bible, and in the Bible, it was about I have it like right here. But it's all about like being pure and light and like divine light.
Such a
So
beautiful
it's
name.
literally like divine light goddess.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind
Slay.
of
That's
what,
how you explained it to me.
yeah, that's what it means. Like in so many
And it
different
embodies her
languages.
so much.
Yeah.
Like, she is such a divine light goddess.
She is. She's amazing.
It's really sweet.
Yeah. And so Zaya, that's her name.
Yay.
But yeah, so that's kind of my big thing for the, like, I was gonna say month, but we're not even in the same month that I got her.
For the new year.
The new year.
New year, new cat.
Well, also just like because we're reflecting back on the week, like that was my big one. She's amazing, and she actually has a vet appointment tomorrow that we're gonna start getting her ready to fly to Paris. So yeah. But Ella, do you wanna?
Yeah, you talk about your week.
Yeah, so my week was really fun. Obviously, we have the new year, which was so amazing. And actually, the first day of this year, so the first New Year's Day, I guess that's what it's called. Yeah, we went to a Korean spa with our whole family and my boyfriend, which was so much fun. And we did, Ariana and I and my mom, we all did face masks, and I did a hair mask, which was super nice. But it was just a lot of fun. It was a good like restart to the new year.
New skin, new year.
Yeah, we kept saying
we exfoliated everything, so we're like new skin, new year. But yeah, that was super nice as like a first day of the year refresh. So that was really fun. That was honestly probably like one of my favorite moments this week.
Yeah, you just walk out of there feeling like
A different human being.
"Oh,
Yeah, like you're
I'm
glowing.
so clean.
Yeah, it was so
Yeah.
nice. And just overall, it's been super duper fun. My puppy celebrated her first Christmas, which was so fun. She's actually not here anymore. My boyfriend and her went up to Washington for the start of our school semester. He went up before me. But I'm going to join them pretty soon, which I'm really excited about to start my schooling and kind of get back into the flow of things. I just registered for a class with beef cattle. It's a beef calf cattle management. And I'm so excited because it's with little calves. So I'm going to be working out on the farm again, which I love so much. And this last 2 semesters, I wasn't able to do it just because of family things, and also like the weather up there is quite cold. So, but I'm really excited to get back into like in field work. So I'm really excited for that. Yeah.
Yay. Well, I remembered, and maybe you guys remember too, that we had mentioned in our last episode that we were going to talk a little bit about shining a light.
Oh yeah.
And it's actually interesting because there's a very light beam that is shining into the middle of our episode, our podcast right now, which is on cue with the universe.
Cue the light.
Cue the light. So I thought maybe I'll talk a little bit about it, and then you guys can...
Maybe you explain like everything with it, and then Ariana and I can like kind of pitch in with our experiences of it.
Nice. Yeah. Okay. So the idea behind shining a light is there are situations. First off, we're all amazing human beings, and we all have our own beliefs and thoughts and opinions on things. And sometimes we all agree. And then there's sometimes where we not even disagree, but we just have differing ideas. And then sometimes there's situations where things are just completely lost in translation. And there's just somebody's doing something with some intention and somebody else is doing something with another intention. And that can cause a lot of complications at times. And so shining a light is basically a method of communication that allows for clarification and understanding between people. And it can be 2 people, it can be multiple people. But the intention behind the idea of it is that if you're interacting with someone and they are maybe in a different space than you are. And for whatever reason, you might feel like your feelings have been hurt, or you're feeling not good about something that they've done. It might be something they've said, might be something they've done, but the overall feeling that you feel is not great.
Something's feeling dark.
Something's feeling, and the funny thing is though, is you might not even register it as dark. In fact, when you first start doing this, you might even start to realize, it's not until you start doing it that you look back and you realize, there was so many times in my life where I felt that uncomfortability, but I didn't know what I was supposed to do with it. Because like, am I really going to sit down and bring this up to someone and potentially cause a conflict? Because when you bring up something that you're upset about, really the method normally is it can become confrontational. But with shining a light, the intention behind it is, I love you. You love me. I know because we love each other, we don't want to hurt each other. So the fact I'm feeling uncomfortable or hurt is something that I think because you love me, you would want to know, because you don't want to hurt me because you love me. You don't want me to feel uncomfortable because you love me. And if I'm hurting you, I want you to tell me because I don't want to hurt you because I love you. So it's like, so the intention behind it is that we both love each other. We are in a loving relationship. Let's keep it going in that direction. Let's shine a light on areas that might be causing some uncomfortability for either or of us. And so let's just start from the perspective of, if you're in a situation where you're not feeling great, and it might be a one-off thing. That comes and goes. Someone walked in the door, slammed the door, they had a bad day, went straight to their room, didn't say anything to you. Whoa, okay, kind of shocking. One-off, whatever, comes and goes. That would not be a shining light moment. If this happens every day for a week, they come home, they do this, and you are sitting in your space and you're having a great evening and you're excited to see them and have them come home, and then this happens every day, and it's kind of jarring to your life experience because you're making dinner or whatever it might be that you're doing, and you're excited to see them, and this keeps happening, and it's hurtful to you because it's something that you're excited to see them, but at the same time you can see they're upset, but what are you supposed to do with that? And so that would be a good shining the light moment. You might then sit down with them and say, hey, I'd like to shine a light. I've noticed this week, every day you come home, you're in kind of a really bad mood. You slam stuff around, you kind of go off into your own world, and then it really affects our entire night. So what you do in the process of shining a light is you identify the behavior, and in theory, you should have 3 examples of how this behavior has shown up. So you show the 3 nights that in a row that this has happened, and then you say how that made you feel. And you express that hurts my feelings because of this, or that makes me feel this way makes me feel XYZ. At that point then, because you are the one shining the light on this behavior or on anything, then the other person, when you have this agreement with someone that our relationship we're going to use this method of shining light, the other person then, it's their responsibility to hear what you have to say and to validate it and to focus on the emotionality behind it. So the emotions of it, like, and not distract from it, not come up with excuses, not defend it, but to honestly say, you know what? I can see that. I can see how when I've come home and I've done that, I can see how that would be upsetting to you. I can see, and you validate the person's emotions, and then you say how that made you feel and how then the relationship could change because of that. And it can be that simple. I can see that. You know what? I've had a hard week this week. I come home. That's not your fault that I've had a hard week. Instead, I'm going to walk through the door and I'm going to take some time and I'm going to go take a shower, or I'm going to go and meditate if you meditate, or I'm going to go and watch a fun movie for a second, for a half an hour, and then I'm going to come out. And I'm going to try not to walk through the door and bring that negative energy into the room because you don't deserve that. And then after I'm finished doing that, or I'm going to go work out. Maybe I'm going to work out on my way home before I come home so I can like get some of that frustration out.
Or like take some time in the car.
Or take some time in the car. And then it's that simple. And it's like, and then you, by shining light, say thank you. And they're like, sure, because they weren't doing it to hurt you. They're not doing it to be mean. They're doing it, but it's affecting you that way. And it can be that simple. And so the theory behind it is it's small little issues that don't then compile into big issues that you can't deal with later. And it's just little things. And when you bring it up, the intention isn't to cause a big conflict or to cause a fight. But what you have to do, there is some parameters to protect it, is that the other person can't bring up other issues. They shouldn't go into defensive mode. It's simply focusing on the one issue that's brought up and the emotions behind it and validating that person's emotions behind it. And ultimately apologizing and then finding a new behavior or a new reaction or a new method of how that will be handled moving forward. And so you shine a light. And then it's that simple. So that's the overall gist of it, and maybe you girls can add some more to that.
Yeah, I definitely think, well, obviously we use it, or we try to use it as much as possible. And when I say we try to use it as much as possible, is that when you're on the receiving end of shining a light, it can take a little bit of practice to just have that, okay, this is my loved one or someone I care about trying to tell me that something that I did might have upset them. And as someone that
There's some noise in the background, and we're not sure if you guys are going to pick up on it, but
I don't know.
we'll just say Goose is doing a lot back here, and we're hoping you don't pick up on it, but if you pick up on the sound, sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, but so I think that there's shining a light and then there's also receiving a light, which is important. And that's kind of what I wanted to add to it, because it can be, as someone I've received a light, like Ella has shined a light on me, and I've been like, ooh, okay. And at first you can get kind of like, well, that's not what I meant, or da 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 da. And that's when you have to take a second and be like, listen, obviously what I did upset you. And I don't want to upset you because I care for you. You're my sister. So and you're probably not bringing this up to just stir the pot or something.
Just for shits and giggles.
Yeah, you're obviously upset about this. You're obviously wanting to tell me that you're upset about it so that I can stop. And so I think that's important to it's a two-sided sort of situation, and both people have to know the rules. You have to know the rules that if you're receiving it, okay, this is not someone trying to attack me and be like, you did this, this, and this wrong. It's more of like hey, you've hurt my feelings. Like, you accidentally slammed the car door in my face. Like, just something like that simple.
It's turning the focus on the person that's like been hurt or been affected by it, instead of the focus being on the person that did something wrong. It's instead of it being like, you did this wrong, it's this hurt me.
Or like, what's wrong? Like, why do you keep doing this? It's like, hey, I don't know what your thing is, but every time you do that, I'm not the biggest fan of it.
And it helps a lot, and we are approaching our time.
Yeah.
We're past our time, but I think this is important. We spent a lot of time with the cat, which is so fun.
Yeah.
But
Zaya.
But it really helps with learning how to prioritize your feelings and learning how to love yourself. And it's like, no, the relationships that I'm in, they shouldn't be hurting me. And if they're in my life, if I have a relationship in my life, they obviously don't want to be hurting me, because there's a mutual care, there's a mutual love. So it's prioritizing yourself. It's not pointing blame. It's just being like, this hurt me. And then the other person, when they do it right, it's, oh no, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to hurt you. I'll really work on that, which I think is so important, because when it comes to conflict, it can so easily become this blame game of, you did this, well, I only did this because you did this. And it's like, it gets so ugly and so messy when it's just something that might have hurt you. And so it's really important to kind of like just prioritize yourself, prioritize your light, and be like, and shine a light, being like, when you did this, it hurt me. So I request, I suggest that you find your light and realize that maybe what you did wasn't the best.
And oh, sorry.
And the nice thing with it is once you learn to honor and prioritize your light and your happiness and know that that's okay and it's something that's important to do, then it helps you to also be able to honor and prioritize others as well when they step up and say, hey, this was uncomfortable, this made me feel not happy. Then you can go, okay, I've been there before, I know how that feels, I don't want to create that, so I'm listening and I'm here. And it's only one-sided then. When someone comes up and says, I'm shining a light, then that's your time to focus on them and be there for them. And when you come and you approach them with something, then that gives them the opportunity to do the same. So it's really creates this common respect and understanding and prioritization over each other's feelings. And feelings supersede facts. So it's like, well, the facts are this and this and this. But yeah, the facts are that, but you've done that multiple times. And every time it's really hurtful to me. So the fact that that's hurting me is enough, should be enough. Or the fact that what I'm doing is hurting you, that's enough for me to say, I need to reconsider what I'm doing.
And sorry, just to say, because I think that's kind of a big thing that might be a little like, when you say feelings supersede facts, it's the fact that if you're caring for someone, if like it shouldn't be I'm fighting to win. It's the reason why you're arguing with people is because someone feels upset in this relationship. And so I think that's why it's important to have just have that little like asterisk on the feelings supersede facts, because obviously there are facts that are extremely
Facts
important.
are important, of course.
Facts are extremely
Yes.
important, and it's not to negate that at all.
And also the facts kind of go
Support.
alongside with
They
the
should
feelings.
support the
Yeah,
feelings,
like,
exactly.
I mean, if Ariana didn't do anything, if she's just going about her day and I'm like, shining light, you made me feel bad. And it's like, I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
You know, so the facts are
That's
important.
why you do, that's
There
why you
are the
have to do
three
the
facts.
three
Yeah.
examples.
There are the-
It's not a one-off thing that happened. This has happened multiple times.
Yeah, and so there are the three examples, and that's why it's really important to bring up, because it's for someone who might be like, well, I don't know about if feelings supersede facts. It's like, okay, well, here are the facts that you've hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
And
That's
it's
the
like
main
an
thing.
They go hand in hand, but ultimately what focusing on is the feelings of how someone is causing someone to feel.
In this scenario, when you're shining a light, it's for feelings. It's not to prove facts or to win. That's the main thing that I think is important.
Nice.
When you're shining a light, I mean, we can look at, if you're not shining a light, facts are very important, probably more important than feelings in some
Yes.
sorts.
This
But
is not what we're talking about.
when we're in this arena, it is about making sure that people feel heard and loved, because that's how having a happy life is. That's how having a good relationship is.
It's the most important part to a relationship.
It's to make sure
Both
that
people are happy and feel loved.
and that your
respected.
emotions are respected. And that's the main thing. And we should probably wrap up.
So I would actually like to, I'll do kind of a wrap up, and then we also have a call of action if someone wants to talk about that real quick. But what I would like to say is, it is a big topic. We've been practicing shining a light a lot, and it is something that we'll continue to talk a little bit more on some of the other episodes as well. And one point I would like to bring up in maybe another episode is the Darvo element that can come into play there. And just so that, because it would be nice if those of you that are watching to incorporate into your life, because we found it to be an amazing tool. Like, it's revolutionized all of our relationships. It's been very powerful and a very big beacon of light in our lives. And so we'll continue to share more with it, and maybe it's something you guys can try out in your own relationships.
This is definitely just an intro to what it is. The last episode, we kind of brought it up very briefly. This is kind of like a
explanation,
quick
of
little
what it is.
explanation, but it is such a big topic, and it's such a monumental switch in the way that conflict is resolved and handled. And so this is definitely not going to be like, yeah, I hope you get it now, bye-bye. You know, like, we're definitely going to talk more about it, because it's such a monumental thing in our lives, in a lot of people. Like, it should be a monumental thing in a lot of people's lives, because it is truly the key to a healthy relationship, I think.
And also, if you have questions about it, you can comment.
And we
we'd
can
be-
answer your questions.
Yeah, we'd be happy to answer your questions with it. But I think we should do our call to action and then say.
I'll go ahead and
adieu.
so the call to action, every year we have I guess it's a tradition, and a lot of people have New Year's resolutions. But our family, what we do is we choose one word that is going to be our
Each of us, for
each of us chooses our own word that's going to, in a lot of ways, in line with lightening up, is going to be our guiding light for the year. Something that's going to continue to remind us of what our purpose is and what our goal is for this coming year. And so
I think maybe next, because we are short on
Short on
time,
we'll
next
talk about ours.
episode we'll share ours.
But
between this week, we
we encourage you to think about one word that represents what you want this year to be for yourself, your intention that you're putting to the world, and how you can encapsulate it in one word so that you can remind yourself, make a bracelet or write it down somewhere that just reminds you, like, this is what this year is supposed to be for me.
Like you can, as an example, like health or like that's a word that you can be like, oh, I want this to be like my guiding light, like health or peace, or just types of words that invoke a feeling of this is what I want. Just to give some examples.
Well, and it
of
just
some of the
and it
words
just
that
it's your
have
intention
been used.
and it surrounds around a lot of things that you want to accomplish or achieve this year. So with that,
thanks for watching.
Yes.
Make sure to like and subscribe and follow us along our journey. Thanks for joining us today as the light is creeping in our set. Make sure that you have a happy week, a happy light-filled life, and
A happy
Lighten
new
up.
year.
and a happy new year. Happy New Year's.
Happy New
Bye.
Year's. Bye.